Hey, Michelle. So I know today was day one and supposed to be a micro declutter, but I could not keep looking at my kitchen workspace any longer without feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. So I went ahead and tackled that space. It took me about an hour, but oh my goodness, I feel so much lighter, so accomplished, and I cannot wait for day two. Thank you so much for doing this declutter challenge and just getting me going on this journey. I appreciate it.
You're listening to Overwhelmed Working Woman, the podcast that helps you be more calm and more productive by doing less. I'm your host, Michelle Gauthier, a former overwhelmed working woman and current life coach. On this show, we unpack the stress and pressure that today's working woman experiences. And in each episode, you'll get a strategy to bring more calm, ease, and relaxation to your life.
Hi, friend. Welcome back to day 2 of the Declutter Challenge. Thank you to Lisa for that nice voice note she left yesterday. I'm so glad you had a successful declutter. I heard from lots of you yesterday. Thanks to all of you who reached out and also sent me pictures. I love seeing pictures. Nothing so satisfying as a before and after, right? Tammy cleared out her buffet drawer. Lisa did her kitchen work area. Jen and Shannon both did their work bags, their work backpacks. Jen said she's going on a trip today, and she was so happy to have gotten rid of all the extra papers and snacks and junk that piles up in a work bag. I feel that. I understand that. Megan sent me some pictures of her landing spot. I did my water bottles. I posted mine on Instagram if you want to see mine. Somebody cleaned out their wallet. Somebody cleaned out a nightstand. So those tiny shifts just feels so good. And it really usually inspires people to keep going. It definitely inspired me to keep going. So before I jump into today's focus and directions, I want to answer a question that somebody submitted yesterday. And I thought this was a really good question.
Hi, Michelle. My question is that I share my home with my spouse, but I have a hard time cleaning when he's present. It's always been this way. I do much better when he's not home. What can I do to change my thoughts and actions in this area?
Thank you for this question. It's a great one. I get questions like this often, and I'm not sure what the root of this one is, like what the thought is that is preventing you from cleaning or decluttering when he's there. What I usually hear is people either saying, I feel like when my spouse is home, I should be hanging out with them or doing something with them, or my spouse and I don't agree on how much stuff we need to keep and how much we need to give away. And he's kind of in my business when I'm trying to do decluttering. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's one of those two, or maybe it's something completely different. But what I would recommend to this listener and to all of you, if you feel like you're in this situation with either your spouse or your kids or your mom or anybody who's looking at what you're decluttering, is just to ask yourself, what is the thought that is causing me to not take action on the decluttering? So maybe this listener's thought was, I can't get anything done when he's around. Just making that up. I don't know what it is. But if she's thinking, I can't get anything done when he's around, let's just do like we always do with our thoughts and just gently take a look at them and say, is that really true? Is there any way that that could not be true? And try to come up with a new thought that you could think. So a simple alternative would be, I can get things done even when he's home, but you have to check and see if that feels true. If that doesn't feel true, it won't work. So maybe something that you could work on is, today, even when he's home, I'm going to spend 20 minutes decluttering something that's just mine. And maybe you work on just your dresser or something like that. But I just wanted to remind this listener and everyone else that the actions that we're taking in our life always come from the way that we're thinking about it. And I think that's really powerful and sometimes annoying, but really powerful because you always have the opportunity to change the way that you're thinking about something. Okay, hope that helps. Let us know. All right, let's get into what we're talking about today. Just like yesterday, when you send me your wins, when you send in a question, either a voice note or reply back to me via email, if you're doing the challenge officially, you will get an email from me every morning. If you're not, it's not too late. You can still enter and get the workbook and start submitting me your wins too. And when you do that, each time you'll get entered in to win a prize. And when you do that, your wins might get shared on the podcast, or your question might get shared on the podcast, just like the two listeners today. One of the prizes is this label maker that I love so much. If you go to my Instagram, I posted a reel yesterday and the cute little label maker is at the end. It's at Michelle Gothier Coaching if you don't already follow me. Okay. So for today, we are going to go a little bit bigger than yesterday's micro declutter, and we're going to stick with simplifying a physical space. So this is about choosing one area of your life that feels heavy and making some progress in that area. So maybe it's your office, maybe it's a room or a section in your house. Maybe it's your car. Sometimes my car really gets a little out of control. You could literally live in it at some points. We have all the sports equipment, sweatshirts, water bottles, all the things you can imagine in there. So today I want you to think about the question, what area of your home or a physical space that belongs to you feels the heaviest right now? Just ponder that for a second. And if you've officially registered for the challenge, you will see this question in your workbook, along with several other questions to help you think about what to simplify for today. Again, if you haven't done that yet, it is absolutely not too late to join. Go to the link in the show notes and you will instantly get the workbook that goes along with this challenge. When you think about that space for you, so I was just talking to a client who is feeling very uninspired by her office. She had a lot of paperwork there and it was just kind of blah and drab. So if that's you, and let's just say it's your office, because today we're trying to make small progress. And as part of this challenge, what I've promised you is that you have to listen to the podcast in the morning, 5-10 minutes, and then you can spend as much time as you want. But I'm imagining most people setting aside like 30 minutes to do their declutter. If you can do more than that, that's amazing. But take the space that you're thinking of and break it down so that if you just spent 30 minutes there, what could you declutter? So if we're talking about the office and you're a person who's feeling overwhelmed by your office, where could that 30 minutes be spent? Could it be spent on the top of your desk? Could it be spent on a closet in your office? Could it be spent on a bookshelf or a specific section? If you're thinking about your basement, is there like a little corner or an area that you could work on? If you're thinking about your bathroom, could you do like one of the drawers or two of the drawers? If you really want to go through all of your clothes, could you just do the hanging clothes in one section today? So think about what space feels the worst to you and then how to make that space smaller, and do just like you did yesterday, where you set a timer for 30 minutes and then you take the 3 simple steps, which are to take it all out, take out every single item. This step, by the way, always makes my children feel panicked. They always know when I've taken everything out that I've like had it with something. Don't worry if your family panics. It's normal. It's normal. Okay, sort it into 3 piles. Keep, throw away, give away. And by throw away, you can also mean recycle. Be a little brutal in this section, okay? We tend to overkeep stuff. There is really no reason to keep more than one of essentially anything, unless you like have backup tubes of toothpaste that you've purchased on purpose. But for example, kitchen utensils, do you really need like 5 spatulas? Or do you really need, actually I have 2, one's for the grill and one's for not the grill. So think about how many of each one of these things that you really need. Think about if you've used or worn this item in like the past year. Even if you're like, oh, I might need this for that one time, really, will you? Or will you feel better having that space in your life? And then put back only the keep pile, and then everything else gets discarded or donated. If you're following along this week, you might just want to get like a big trash bag or something and start making your giveaway pile so you don't have to run to Goodwill or wherever you donate things every day. And once you have it all back in, take a picture, send me the picture, and notice how you feel. So when you finish that, take a second to notice the difference and see how the space feels compared to before. And what difference do you notice in yourself when you walk into or spend time in that space now? I was talking earlier about my car and how sometimes it looks like we could live in there. When I get it cleaned, like take it through a car wash and then get all the junk out of it and put it back where it belongs, like where the water bottles go and where all the sweatshirts go, etc. I seriously feel like the thought that I have is I have my life together. When my car is clean, I feel like I have my life together. When it's messy, I do not. So notice the difference in yourself before and after you do that declutter. Okay, great job, friend. I would love to hear your wins. Reply to your daily email. If you're registered for the Declutter Challenge, you will get an email from me every morning. So you already have one from today, or leave me a quick voice memo. The link is in the show notes for that. Every time you share, you'll be entered to win a prize. That's it for day 2. Pick your small spot, follow the steps, and celebrate your progress. Tomorrow, we're going to move into digital clutter and clear some space in your inbox or apps or photos. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Overwhelmed Working Woman podcast. If you want to learn more about my work, head over to my website at michellegothier.com. See you next week.